friends, and welcome to the Made channel. My name is Julia Masalska, like so. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. Today we're having the first session of the year, and we're going to be taking a look at 5 amazing portfolios with you guys. So excited. Thanks everybody who is already joining us on this live stream. Let us know in the chat if you have any questions, or if you just want to say hi. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I'd love to know. Cool guys, so if you want your portfolio reviewed, make sure to join me on my Instagram. It's at Julia Masalska. You can find the link to my Instagram also in the description below. Cool, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be making more videos this year, and I'm super excited, this channel to be growing and the community of us to be growing. Us learning, design and freelancing. So excited to have you guys all here. All right, so let's jump right into the portfolios. I was really stoked. I was actually taking a quick look at your guys' work, and it looks really amazing. So we're going to get a lot of inspiration today, and hopefully you guys can gain a lot of valuable inputs from today's session. Cool guys. Hi, Andres Vaca is here. Hi, good to see you. All right, my friends, so let's jump into my work screen, and we're going to be starting with the reviews. Today's first up is Isidora Dejanović. Isidora is a graphic designer from Serbia. Really exciting to have you here. Thank you so much, Isidora, for submitting your portfolio. And we have a Behance portfolio here going. Super cool. Isidora, I already see that you have a lot of colorful work. Let's take a look at your recent project. And don't forget, guys, the recent project that you have in your portfolio is supposed to be the one representing your current skill set. So I would not put any project that's less valuable to you as the first project, because the first project is probably the one where your potential clients will be clicking on. So make sure to put the order right and to put the last work as your most recent work. Cool guys, we have some people joining here as well. Richard is here, Ayushi is here, Arlinda, and Alessandra. Alessandra is here from Boston, Ayushi is from India. Cool, awesome guys. So let's jump right into Isidora's work and let's take a quick look. So the first thing that I see here, Isidora, is that you don't have any description here. It would be so great to get some background about you, to know what you are up to, what you specialize in, what your experience is. So make sure to add a little description here below. You can also add some links to your social media, for example, where people can get to know you better. So maybe if you have some kind of Instagram page where you are curating your work, that would be really great to kind of have a couple links that say more about you than just a Behance page. All right, so let's jump into the first project, and I already see an amazing color palette. This is a really cool mock-up. It looks like you have created your personal business card, and it does look really to I would love to know if you have taken the photo or if you have used a mock-up for this. But it looks really amazing. I really love it already. Maybe to add something to this project, maybe you can show the card in different perspectives, and maybe show multiple cards next to each other, just a couple more pictures, and maybe a little description. I think would be great here. Otherwise, it looks amazing, and I think you've done a really great job. And it looks like you have created this business card based on your personal identity. Super cool. Guys, if you have not worked on your personal identity yet, make sure to do that, because it's really important that we as designers are representing ourselves, because we're doing this work every single day for other people. So why can't we take some time and do it for ourselves? So make sure to create yourself a personal identity, a color palette, typefaces that you always reusing. That will keep you memorable, and you will be able to stick out from the masses as a designer. Cool. Awesome. Perla is here from LA, and Mahdi's here, and Arlinda Design is here. Cool. Awesome to have you guys here. Happy Friday, by the way, for everybody who's joining. Cool. Isidora, let's jump into your project and let's take a quick look what you have here. So you have created a personal identity with this color palette here that I see. You have put some experience in here. It looks like your resume, kind of summary of your work. Super cool. I'm wondering what this stands for. It says address and contact. but there is no address and no contact. So I'm wondering, maybe by accident you might have deleted something. And you know, I would recommend you one thing, maybe to take out this slide, and maybe to have this slide be the one that you actually send to the client as a PDF file, because you're sharing a lot of information here. You're sharing your date of birth, you're sharing your email address, and you know, sometimes it's a little bit sensitive information. Otherwise, I think this looks really, really great, and I love the typeface that you have here in your personal identity. Cool. Now let's take a look where you present your logo, how your nickname is easy, it seems. So you have created this abstract version of I, S, and I, and the second I is turned around, and it does look very dynamic and geometric, simple and minimalistic shapes, and it does look very modern. So I think you did a great job here. I also love the presentation here. And the color palette is really colorful, very vibrant. I think it works super well with your design. And I just think you did a great job, and the presentation is also very fluent. So you're building up from the logo and you know, where your logo actually comes from, into the color palette, and then showing how your logo is being used with the color palette. So I think it's a really good flow here. And you're showing the different backgrounds, and then you're showing the logo in use. Here you're showing a business card. I would love to have a little bit of contrast between the actual business card and the background, so that we can actually see the business card shape, right? Because it's probably something around these edges right here. So it would be so cool if you would have, you know, make it stick out a little bit more. Maybe make the business card slightly different color from the background. I think it would help a lot in this case. Cool. And then we have the mock-up. I think this is looking amazing. I would also love to see maybe some kind of a website mock-up, or maybe something that you haven't planning with your new brand. But I think your brand identity came out really amazing, and these two projects I think look really amazing. Now we have another branding project here, Silky Way Packaging Skincare Branding. Cool. I really love the cover picture. It shows the logo, and it's a good way to start, you know, showing a portfolio piece. Silky Way, this is really interesting. It looks very unique to me. I love the color composition here. It looks really amazing. I think you're doing a great job to kind of presenting and giving the first impression of the branding, right? And here you're showing the close-ups of the packaging in different perspective. I think you're doing a great job. It looks very smooth. I love how the background is fluent, so you can really concentrate on the product. And I think you're doing a really amazing job here. And then in the end, the combination between the branding itself and the packaging, really, really cool. Again, here it's very, very fluent, and you're placing the objects in the background so they look like they kind of belong together. A really great presentation. I think you're doing an amazing job here. It looks very unique. I have not seen anything like that before. I love how you're putting the, you know, the collage pieces of your photography and little like mood boarding into the composition here. I think you're again doing a great job. I'm wondering if you can remove this. It says lorem ipsum has been the industry standard dummy. I don't think that's, you know, I think that might be part of the mock-up or something. So, or maybe it's just lorem ipsum that you have added. I will maybe just add a branded copy that really works with the branding that you're creating. So I think that's really one point in this project where I'm a little bit, everything looks very smooth and everything looks really nice, but this lorem ipsum kind of really breaks the deal for me. This is looking great. And again, you're doing a great job in presentation. It's very fluent. And maybe I would put the typefaces and the colors at the top of the page, and then kind of show how you're using those in the different brand assets. Cool. Otherwise, here the logo, again, I would put that at the top of the page before you even show any of the packaging or mock-ups. So here you have put it on a little textured paper. This looks great. Yeah, I think you're doing a great job. And I think this project is really amazing. It's just maybe the order could be improved upon. But otherwise, I think your first three projects, those are, by the way, really relevant, guys. If you're creating your portfolio. I might take another like five more minutes as a client, or 10 more minutes, and that would be my first impression, right? So I would take a look at the first 3 projects, and if I don't like them, I'll probably click away and look at somebody else's portfolio. But if I do like them, I might potentially reach out to you. So the first 3 projects are really, really relevant, guys. This is what your client will see, or your employer or whatever. This is what they will take a look at. And then we have some web design here as well. We have a clothing brand. We have gym banners. So for you, Isidora, I would really recommend you to concentrate what you want to concentrate on. So do you want to do branding in your future? Then concentrate on branding and remove all the banners and everything that's, like small pieces of work that may be not relevant for your future. Maybe just remove them from your portfolio and create a couple more portfolio pieces that are relevant for what you want to do, actually. Because believe it or not, you will attract the clients that that can identify with your portfolio. And if they can identify with the projects that you're putting out, so let's say you want to work for a cosmetic industry and you have 3 projects that have to do with cosmetics, branding, and packaging, a cosmetics client will definitely identify themselves with your work, and they will definitely see you working for them. So always make sure to put into your portfolio the right projects that will resonate with the potential client or the potential employer, of course. Otherwise, Isidora, I think you're doing a really great job. Your portfolio looks amazing. I'll maybe just organize and really concentrate on what you want to concentrate on. It looks like your recent work has to do a lot with branding and with packaging. So if you want to concentrate on that, remove everything else so that the potential client does not get confused, and that they see that you actually are concentrating on that and that you're specialized in something. Right? Cool. How are you all doing in the chat? Thanks everybody else for joining, who's been hanging out with us. All right, Isidora, I think you're doing a great job. Again, those small things that I've just said, but otherwise it's a very high level criticism. But I think your portfolio just looks amazing. Just add a little description and you're good to go. I would maybe even suggest creating a portfolio site, like a website. Because your work already looks very professional, and I think it's about that time for you to create yourself a personal website. You can also do that with Adobe Portfolio, or you can also use services where you can create websites yourself. Otherwise, this looks amazing, Isidora. Hopefully this was helpful. And next one up, we have Vineel Thota. Vineel is a designer, UI UX designer from India. Super cool. I always love to see Indian designers. I have in fact studied in India for about a year. So really, really exciting to see Indian designers and how, the design there is evolving. Cool. UI UX designer from India. I love to design user interfaces for B2C and B2B products, automobiles, gaming consoles. Not just design, I give life to those UI designs with rapid prototyping and interactions to create an aha experience. I think that's a really intriguing and interesting description, because you're not only speaking about your experience as a designer, but you also have this passion that you're translating into the last sentence. You're saying, I give to those UI designs with rapid prototyping interactions to create an aha experience, and you give life. So for you, it's something very relevant, and you're very passionate about what you're doing. So I think this description is really amazing. You did a great job writing the copy here. I also love the hierarchy here, and the fact that you're already showing that you are UI UX designer, because this is what it's all about, right? Information hierarchy and putting things together so they're easy to read and easy to understand. Cool. And then we have the projects already starting here. You have a good amount of projects. I would not say, put more quantity into this. Just concentrate on the quality here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects. I think that's a really good amount. And if they're actual real case studies where I would need several minutes to go through it, I think this is a really good amount. Cool. All right, so let's start with the first project. And Casa Co-Living UX case study. Really cool. It looks already really inviting, and I think this dark mode presentation really helps for the screens to be better visible and to really stick out and show, the user experience and behind this. For my taste, it's a little bit too tilted, so for me it's really difficult to kind of read, to perceive the information, but I think the presentation here is actually pretty good. I love how you're summarizing all these things here: the title, the role, the duration of the project, and the target audience. I think this is a really great thing to do in the beginning of a project, just to really show, hey, you know what? This was my responsibility. This was what was the project all about. So if you guys don't have any descriptions yet for your projects, make sure to add some descriptions. We have the goal of the project. We have a little bit more background information, and we already start off with some imagery, which is good, because sometimes too much text, can be really difficult to keep your attention. So I think you're doing a great job here also with the hierarchy. And you're keeping it, you're kind of changing it up from dark to light to dark again. So that shows that you're a good UX designer. You're creating this very versatile experience for the viewer. And that actually shows that you're good at what you're doing, right? So, because if you have amazing work and the presentation of the work is meh, that just means that you're not by heart a UX designer. Is that, if you cannot present your own work, how are you supposed to present somebody else's work, right? So just put your heart into your portfolio and really design it as if you're designing for a client. I know how hard it can be sometimes to really take your time, but in this case you have to. We have the process here. I think the information graphics here are well designed. I would maybe avoid lines crossing each other in these two cases, but otherwise I think it looks good. Then we have some more infographics here going. I think they're pretty good size and so on. So I think you're doing a great job with the presentation here. Okay. All right. So, and then you're showing the process, guys. I think that's a very important part when you have a portfolio, to show, how it all started. Maybe some sketches of the logo designs that you have, pre-worked on, that you started with. This all looks really, really good. Cool. And then you started off with the low fidelity wireframes, so the order here totally makes sense. Low fidelity wireframes, and then the user interface. Very nice. I think your presentation is really great, and it really goes into depth, which shows that you really dived into this project and you really were passionate about it, right? So you didn't just create a screen or a website. You really went into depth, and you really designed and considered different variations and so on. And as I also love the ending here. It's a wrap. Thank you for your time. I think it's pretty cool. You're appreciating a person really taking a close look to your project, and because they've scrolled all the way down, you're rewarding them with this. Thank you for your time. Cool. I think this project looks great. Now scroll back to top. Here, let's take a look at your menu and what kind of things you're sharing here. You're sharing an email, so I can send you an email right away. This is great. Here I would think about, what would you like the person to do first, right? So would you like them to send you an email? Would you like them to go and get in touch with you on Instagram? Would you like them to go and see your work or more of your work on Behance? Or would you like them to go onto your LinkedIn and connect with you? So definitely make sure that you think about the order of these things. Here maybe I think an email will be the first thing to do, and if the person is not ready to send you an email yet, then they can go onto your LinkedIn and get connected with you and maybe shoot you a message there, right? So make sure to put this in order the way you want it. I would say first email, then LinkedIn, then Behance, then Instagram. I would say that's the order here. But guys, you have, you do everything with intention that you put into your portfolio. All the information, you can order it with a hierarchy of importance, right? The most important things need to be seen first, and then the least important ones. And even, just leaving out the not so important things can sometimes help as well. So if I only have, instead of 4 links here, if I had only 3 that are more intentional and really, are planned out and thought out, then that will make more sense. But otherwise, I think this is perfectly fine. It looks very organized. I would not say it's way too many links. I just want to point out that make sure to think about that. Let's take a look at the contact page. We can submit a little message here, which is also good. There are multiple ways to get in touch with you, right? We have the contact, we have the email, we have this and this and this and this. So maybe just keep it simple for the person to not confuse them, and maybe just leave this contact page and remove the email from here. So whatever you think you like for them to do, and also what's the easiest for them to do to get in touch with you, that I would, leave so that they're not confused at all, right? So it's very clear what you want them to do. And also I'm thinking, and let's see if at the bottom of your page, so at the bottom of your, when I look through the projects, there should be, once a person looks through your project, there should be a contact at the bottom, right? CTA, that's what you do as a UX designer. You, you show some information, you catch somebody's attention, you catch their interest, and in the end, you put a call to action. So what do you want them to do? Maybe they will have already some certain thought themselves, like, oh, I really like this designer. And now I've scrolled to the bottom of the page, and here I don't find any contact information. So Vanille, I would recommend you maybe even put the contact page down here, so that whenever somebody scrolls down and goes through your whole project, because that already shows interest, right? That they already have a CTA down here. They can already contact you, right? I think that would be the point where, where you should put that actually. All right, cool. Otherwise, I think Vanille, your portfolio looks amazing and you did a great job, and it's a My Portfolio site, so it does look really professional. It looks more professional than a Behance, that's for sure. You picked an amazing theme. It works super well with your projects and with your work. So really compliments onto your portfolio. I think you're doing a great job. I also love how you're going into depth with all the projects that you're doing. So just keep it up and make sure to plan the experience on your own site, and that the person really has the ability to contact you by the end of by the end of the project, so that they can right away message you and tell you how great you are. Cool. All right, Vanille, hopefully this was helpful. Really love your work. I think you're doing a great job. And next up we have Ayushi Bhatt. Ayushi is a student of communication from India. Again, India in the house, super cool. Awesome. Shafiq is late, that's okay. That's no problem at all. And Emma is here. Hi, happy creative new year. Yes, hopefully 2021 will be better than 2020. But I've heard that it's supposed to be the little brother of 2020, but we will see. Anyways, really happy to have started off with the new year and doing some portfolio reviews with you guys. So let's jump onto Ayushi's portfolio here. She has a little about me about me section here. Multidisciplinary design student focused mainly towards visual communication, but have keen interest in UI UX design. In the design world, I'm an experimental person who plays with colors and forms. I love it. I love how you're describing yourself, as a designer. I think that's a great way to kind of give a little intro to the person viewing your portfolio. I think it's nice and crisp. It's really short and to the point. So you did a great job here. I think this looks great. I see you have 6 projects in your portfolio. In the Behance portfolio, I always recommend you guys go quality over quantity. So make sure that your projects are, you know, to the point and really reflect who you are as a designer and what you want to do in the future. So let's take a quick look at the first thing that I see that catches my eye is this project here. Looks like it has to do with playing cards. So we have a little intro going on here. Shakuni, we all are aware of the universally played games of solitaire and poker, and that wouldn't be possible without the deck of cards. Shakuni represent the meaning of each card in a systematically categorized way of repetitive radial pattern. Also, you can add in the design for suits are modified versions of the triangle. Okay, this is cool. I really like the intro. Maybe you could keep it a little bit shorter and to the point, maybe only 2 to 3 sentences. Just shorten it up a little bit, I would suggest. But otherwise, I think this mock-up looks really great. I will maybe add a little bit more texture into the cards so they look a little bit more natural, a little bit more realistic. But I think the designs are great. I would love to know what your role is in this project. I'd love to know what your responsibility was. Did you actually design the cards, or you know, what did you do here? Cool. I really love the mock-ups here. Always make sure to keep the mock-ups consistent, right? So if we have this cool gray background in the background here, and then we have this warm gray in the background, they kind of look like they don't really belong together. So definitely make sure to match those colors either to the warmer gray, which I think would really work great over here, and make the cool tone cards stick out a little bit more. But mock-ups, guys, are something really, really important for your portfolio, because mock-ups really show consistency, and it's kind of the back of the mind thing that you go through the portfolio. If your client actually is familiar with design and everything, maybe it's you know, your future boss, and they see that you're not color matching things in your projects, they might, you know, get a little suspicious that you're not detail oriented. You know, as designers, preferably we really look into detail and really you know, refine things as much as possible before we present them. So mock-ups are really, really important, and it just shows how much into detail you are as a designer. But I think these two match really well together. It seems like they're from the same mock-up set. Cool. This looks great too. Again, here I would add some more texture so the cards look like they're actually made of paper right now. The graphics are really perfect, and in, you know, in nature nothing is perfect. Whenever we print something, the color black is not completely black, you know, it kind of mixes up with the texture that you have on the paper, and then you have some reflections going. So I would recommend you to make those mock-ups even more realistic, to add some texture, to add some highlights and shadows, you know, some random highlights and shadows to make it look a little bit more natural. But otherwise, I think you did a great job. I love the presentation. It will be also really great if you will be able to print those cards actually, and, you know, cut them out and take actual pictures of those. I think that's always really, really cool. All right, otherwise I think this is an amazing project. You did an amazing job here, and I feel like this is a pretty strong one, so you can put it somewhere in the front. Let's see what your last one is. Again, I was mentioning that the last project in your portfolio should be totally representing everything that you have learned in the past, right? It should show your current design status, basically your design experience, right? Hi, we have some more people joining. Let us know in the chat where you guys are from, and where you guys are tuning in from, where did you guys see about this session, and so on. Cool. All right, so let's take a look at this project here. We have multiple owners here. Ayushi was working with 2 other people. We have some signage design, okay, and for the company above, okay, here maybe I would make the typeface a little bit smaller, just so it's not, you know, too large and too stretched out to the edges. Give it a little bit more space on the sides, just so that you know, the text is easier to comprehend. Right now the distance between you know, the beginning and the end of the line on my screen is really large, so I really have to go with my whole head and, you know, read line by line. Ideally you want me to see the text and already kind of understand, already have run through it and already understand what I'm, you know, what I'm looking at. Cool. Love the images. I think they look great, and you have branded them also with the little logo, so I think you did a great job here. Also great way to start, you know, showing about the project, talking about the logo, the typography, the imagery, the color palette, and then to show, after that is done, to show how that is used in your project, right? So here we are starting with the typography, with the color palette, and then we have some iconography going here, and we have some signs. And okay, now we are actually seeing how this is being used. It looks like an app or something, some like a map for orientation. Cool, this looks great. If this is a mobile app, I would love to see the whole screen at once. Right now, when I'm scrolling, I'm not able to see the whole screen in one picture, right? Except if I actually click on it. And to me, it doesn't seem like, maybe it's not a phone. Let's see if there is more information where I can see what this is all about. Wayfinder on each deck with a backlit map. Okay, so it's a backlit map. Okay, so it's basically a larger screen where you can kind of click yourself through and find your way to where you want to go. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, I will maybe make sure that the typeface is a little cleaner and easier to read. I feel like this might be not the optimal typeface. And also, if you have like a backlit presentation, like a screen, I would love to see how it actually looks like, you know? Maybe there is a way to find a mock-up where you can show, you know, what this graphic is designed for, right? So I think that would be a great idea here. To add a mock-up, but let's see, maybe you already have a mock-up here. And here we have some additional slides from this presentation here. Yeah, again, I would love to see a mock-up how this is actually presented, because my first thought was that maybe this was an app or you know, something on the phone. This is like our millennial first thought, right? A screen? Okay, it's a phone. So, but there are so many screens out there, so it would be great to have a mock-up. Otherwise, I think you did a great job here. I'm not gonna criticize the design at this point because we just want to talk about presentation. And in the beginning, I think you did a great job kind of, you know, building up from the different assets that you've created, color palette, typefaces, and so on, and iconography, and then showing how that's being used. So I think the structure here is pretty good. Maybe I will find a better picture for the cover. Maybe something, one of those photos that you have shown, you know, during the presentation. I think that would be better. At this point, I think it's not very clear what this is. They kind of look almost like stickers to me. So just make sure to help, you know, the person who views through your portfolio to understand what you have designed there actually, right? So I would love to see a mock-up here and something, you know, where it's actually shown in action. Cool, Zayn is saying this is good stuff, good advice. Yay, I'm glad you like it. All right, let's continue. Ayushi, let's take a look at your third project. So we have taken a look at the card project and the signage design. Let's take a look at the shoe donation campaign. Oh, this is really cool. This is a really interesting the graphic that you have created. Be the fairy godmother, all the Cinderella out there. Okay, so it looks like these are posters that you have created. Here, I see a little problem with the logo at the bottom. It's not very well legible. It says inside the logo, it says "in step with every Indian," but unfortunately it's not legible. So I would make sure that whenever you create something like this, maybe you were able to kind of create some lighter version of this blue, like a gradient kind of flowing into the corner, so that the logo is legible. Because every brand, you know, the logo is a part of a brand, and you cannot just make a part of the brand not visible and not legible. That's, I think, a suggestion here that I would definitely encourage you to work on. But otherwise, I would also, again, love to see the mock-ups. Let's see if there are any. Okay, so this is for an ad, actually, for a newspaper. So yeah, I think you did a great job showing here how it actually is in use. So this is really cool. And we also have some mock-ups here. So that's great. This is, you did exactly what I was expecting you to do. So my expectations are completely met, and I'm satisfied. Cool. And here you're showing how it's being used in the newspaper or like a magazine. So really nice. Great job. Here, yeah, again, the logo is the bottom part of the logo, so the slogan, unfortunately not legible. Maybe there is a way to make it light colored so that sticks out and creates a contrast to the blue. But otherwise, graphic wise, I think you did a great job. And so now my question is for you, Ayushi. What are you specialized on? Because I always say to all of my designer friends and people, you know, who ask me, Julia, you know, what should I do? I love illustration, and I also love branding. What should I put into my portfolio? And I always say that it's important to be specialized in something, because that's a barrier. You have to cross that barrier, but also the client will also cross that barrier with you and will hire you for that project. Because if a client sees a designer who works here and there and does a lot of different stuff, they will not give them the trust they need to really, you know, trust a project to someone. And they want to see that you're actually into this, that you are into branding, or that you're into illustration, or that you're into advertisement. So they want to see multiple projects of that. And my question for you, Ayushi, is what are you specialized on, or what do you want to be working for in the future? Right? That's important to think about. What kind of projects do you want to work on in the future? What kind of clients do you want to attract? I feel like your portfolio at this point is a little scattered. I even see some UX and UI. So we have some advertisement, we have branding, we have UX, UI, we have some fun, cool stuff going, which, you know, can be always a good addition to, you know, professional work. But just make sure to think about what do you want to do in the future and specialize in that. Maybe create a couple more passion projects in that direction, and I promise you that will totally help you attract the right clients and help them make the decision to hire you. Okay, cool, Ayushi, hopefully this was helpful for you. You're doing some great work. Keep it up. Just make sure to I know you're a student right now, but it's always helpful to think about what do you want to do in the future and what do you enjoy doing the most, right? So cool, Ayushi, hopefully this was helpful again. Next one up, we have Elisandra Lopez. Elisandra, thank you so much for submitting your portfolio. I already see you do some illustration and you do some graphic design. It's great to kind of separate those things, because sometimes they go hand in hand and sometimes they don't. If you are doing a branding project that involves illustration, feel free to put it together. But otherwise, if you're just doing illustration for fun or for, you know, illustration based projects, put it by side, put it, separate your page like you did. And you did a great job here. Now I can see, hey, so do I want to hire you for illustration, or do I want to hire you for graphic design? What am I interested in seeing about you? And I'm interested in seeing graphic design, so I'm gonna click on that. And I see a bunch of graphics that you have created. I see postcards designs for friendship works. Let's take a look. Okay, so once I click, it will be great, Elisandra, if I would click on the image and the image will guide me to the project. I think that would be really, really cool. So at this point I have to click on the little tiny description at the bottom, which is not a, it's not a big space to click on. So I kind of have to concentrate on actually reaching that little piece of space where this small text is on. So I would definitely make sure to make this image clickable and link it to the page where you're presenting the project. Cool. This is a really cute llama. I really love it. Como una flor. Here I would definitely, okay, we don't want to discuss designs here. We're discussing the presentation, but I would definitely decrease the line spacing here so that the words look like they actually belong together. But this looks really cute, and I love your presentation. It's very minimalistic, very simple. Maybe you can find a way to create a mock-up, or maybe even print those cards and take some pictures in context. Or I'm sure there are a lot of mock-ups that you can use to just put your designs on them, and it will look amazing. It will give more reality. It will give more tangibility to your designs. Oh, we have some papyrus going here. Okay, so I think you did a great job. It looks very consistent here. This typeface might be a little bit difficult to read, but yeah, the presentation is all right, and I would love some mock-ups. And I also like that you have a little description here at the top. Again, here I would decrease the line spacing because the lines are really far apart. I would definitely make sure that they all are kind of in like a blocky text. But this typeface is pretty good. These are postcards I created for the organization Friendship Works for their La Cadena de Amistad program, created to help elderly in the Boston community. I really love those projects, they're really little projects. I've done one of those myself recently for an organization in California. They help, basically they help homeless people, and it's always fun to have those projects because it's you always put so much love in it. It's always pretty cute. Cool. Yeah, I think this is great. Add some mock-ups to this, I would suggest. But now let's take a look at the second project. It looks like you're really passionate about social projects that have to do with organizations and stuff. Here we have Office of Community Service for 2 years, making posters for events. Okay. So you were promoting important events as Hunger and Homelessness Week or during Voting Week. Help promote the events by creating social media content and posting them on Instagram. Okay, let's take a quick look. Okay. Oh, okay. So you have linked those to your Instagram, looks like, or their Instagram. Okay. I would say this is a lot of text for a social media post, but I think it's cool that you have actually linked it to the post itself so you can take a look. But I would definitely, I know clients sometimes they really want to put so much information into one little piece. You really have to advise them to not to do it because nobody will read that stuff, especially not in the Instagram post. But if that was the case, that they made you put so much information, I think you did a great job kind of making it legible and creating a lot of contrast and making it interesting with those stars. So compliments on that. Cool. I see all of these things are very packed with information, which I know I have. My client was the same. They wanted to put the most information possible on one sheet of paper, and so sometimes it can get really daunting, but you're doing a great job even adding a little graphic in the background. It is pretty good legible for the amount of text there is because it's challenging to put so much information into one sheet. But yeah, I think you're doing a great job here. Maybe work a little bit more on the layout so that you keep a little bit more space and a little bit better hierarchy in the information. Here we have the text boxes really close to each other and the line distance really wide. So decreasing the line distance can help with, you know, putting more text and still keeping it legible. But all right, I think you're on a good way, honestly. I also love your little illustration of yourself that you did here. I think it looks really, really cute. Okay, so let's look at your about info. Elisandra is a graphic designer, illustrator, and museum enthusiast living in Boston. I really love this picture. I think it looks very friendly and approachable. Her work draws influence from everyday life, environment, and nature. She graduated with a BFA in illustration from Okay, cool. This is a long description, and again, you're tending to you know, to leave a lot of line distance between the lines, so I would definitely decrease that. It will make it so much easier to read, and that way you can also compress the text and make the box a little bit more narrow, so it's easier for the eye. Right now I have to go from one side of the text to the other side, and it's a little difficult to read, but I'm sure you can work on that. Just make it a little bit more narrow, decrease the line spacing, and make sure to put good hierarchy, you know, into the text, and maybe just reduce a little bit, because this is a lot of text to read. Maybe just put really the most important key points, key learnings, and so on, so that it's not too much to read. Oh, I also love this little illustration. I think it's really, really cute. Cool. Alessandra, hopefully this is helpful. You're on a good way. Just keep on working. Keep on looking how others do it, and maybe you can implement some of the tips that people have from their own portfolios. And yeah, just keep on working on your own. I think you're doing a great job. Also love the fact that you work for different organizations, and that you also have a social aspect in your work. I think this is awesome. All right, last but not least, Fiona Giuliana. Cool. Who am I saying, will you save this life? Yes, this life will be saved and will be available on my YouTube channel forever. So you can rewatch this, or send this to your friends and family. Okay, Alessandra, yeah, they made me. Yes, the clients always make you put so much information onto one sheet of paper. I know, I understand. Cool. Elisandra saying also, thanks, I appreciate it. Yes, you're welcome. Hopefully this was helpful to you. All right, next one is Fiona Giuliana. And her website starts, first of all, really amazing logo mark that you have here. I really love it. I think you're doing a great job. It's very subtle. Also love the color. It's not, you know, too contrasty. It's really subtle, and kind of probably also describes your personality maybe a little bit. Minimalistic and, you know, to the point, very organized. I see, you know, your menu here, very organized and very minimalistic, to the point. Here, the first thing that I noticed about the about section is that the text is really close to the image. I would leave just a little bit more space in between here. Otherwise, I love how you start your website, you know, the homepage, with an about section, because the person behind all the work, you know, is important, I believe. About me. Hi, I'm Fiona Giuliana, freelancer. I freelance in graphic design and web design, and specialized in logo design and branding, print design, editorial design, social media posts, user interface design, and WordPress development. My style of work is modern and minimal. See, that's what I was saying. One of my greatest passions is to create an identity for businesses. You know that annoying feeling when you search for a company online and they don't have a website? I feel you too, and that's one of the many reasons why I choose this path. Other than that, I'm a huge introvert that is fascinated by and loves creative writing and art. Oh my god, I was so right with your logo. It's so funny, because your logo is very subtle, and it's like small, and it's in the corner. So I was kind of thinking that you might be the person, you know, to be very subtle and to be maybe a little bit more on the shyer side. But you're saying that you're an introvert. It's interesting how much, you know, the graphic can say about a person. But hey, compliments, because you actually represent yourself with your branding, and your branding seems to really work with what you are as a person. So this is really great. again, I love the, the color that you have set for yourself here. You're reusing it over and over. Love the typeface here, and also the animation in the website. How fancy is that? Let me reload this so you guys can see this. So we have some text sliding in, images sliding in. We have some, things that are grabbing my attention right away. I like the way you show you the technical skills. And yeah, I feel you. I'm never gonna be at 100% at any software, because there's always a little thing that you don't know that, well, that you probably haven't learned or you probably haven't used. So I feel you. I'll never be at 100% neither. Photoshop, but here you can actually see, how good you are at all these things that you're doing. HTML, CSS, this is not for me at all. I'm not able to code at all whatsoever. So really cool that you know how to. I think that's a good additional skill that you can have as a designer. But this is awesome. I also love working in XD. Yeah, I love the visualizations here, the little subtle, titles here that you have in the background where it says skills or service. I think you're doing a great job with those. Graphic design, web design. Okay, cool. And here we have a CTA right away. So this is amazing, guys. So whenever you are presenting some kind of project or some work, or you're saying, hey, I can do this for you, you need to put a button. You need to put a call to action that says contact me, or get quote, or reach out to me now, or send me a message, or let's get in touch. So this is great. And here, a person can already kind of pick the direction that they want to go with you. So they either can hire you for graphic design, web design, UI, or social media. I think those are 3 main directions. And I think you're doing a great job kind of dividing those, because they're not, 100% compatible. So, well, they are compatible, but there are 3 specific fields, and you're doing a great job kind of, setting them apart. Here, what I would recommend you with CTA, just line them all up at the bottom, I would say. That's also showing that you are a great UX designer and that you care about your own site. So I would just line them up at the bottom. But otherwise, I think this looks awesome. You have a CTA, and we have also clients and testimonials. So if you're not convinced yet, here a little testimonial from a past client. So that's always also great to put, to kind of give a third opinion into this. Cool. All right, now, Fiona Giuliana, let's take a look at your projects. I'm really excited now, because the starting page, the home page was already really cool. And here again, we have some animations going. Cool. So let's start with graphic design. This is what I'm proficient in, so probably the better place where I can give you feedback. First thing that I've noticed is that this mockup is used so often. Guys, there are some mockups that I use so often, and I would really, really recommend you, for every single project, use different mockups. Don't reuse the same mockups. It kind of breaks my heart to know that this is not an actual print, because I see the same picture and I have this imagination. Oh, this is so cool. It's printed on this paper and it looks so. It has a lot of texture and it's so cool. And then I see this. Oh, this is a mockup, because she has reused the same mockup again. So even if you're using mockups that are used a lot, just don't use the same mockups in every project. I would really, really recommend you to not do that. Okay, let's take a look at your personal branding. That's exciting. I already told you that I love the logo, and I think you're doing also a great job here with your business card, graphic designer. This reminds me, this looks Helvetica, very Helvetica. So it works with your minimalistic personality and design personality, I would say. So this is great. Cool. Is this all? Fiona, I would love to see more. Can you show me some typefaces, your color palette, what the logo means? Where did this come from? I see an F and a J, But some people might not understand it, how you kind of put it together. What's your thinking? What's your decision making behind this project? Because a personal branding is a big project, right? So you have been looking at some mood boards, inspirations, and whatnot. You've been looking at typefaces. You've been looking at colors. So what are your brand colors? What are your typefaces? What else do you have for your brand? Maybe you can find some cool mock-ups of, I don't know, caps or t-shirts where you're using your logo and just showing the world how your logo will look like on a t-shirt. Why not? Even if you don't have an actual t-shirt printed yet, but you know, maybe you can still make somebody imagine that you did. And also, you know, it will just make it more, I will be able to see better how your brand actually works in action, and how, you know, it can be applied to so many different things, and the logo is still legible and it still works. So whenever putting something like this together, make it a whole case study, make it a whole big thing, right? So start with a little description. Hey, I'm Fiona Giuliana, this is my personal branding, and I will characterize myself as this, and that, and people see me as this, and that, and this is the reason why I'm picking this color palette, and this is the reason why I'm picking these typefaces, and this is the reason why I put my logo together like that, and this is how my logo can be used on different merch, this is how my logo is being used on a website, this is how my logo is being used on a business card, and by the way, here is some stationery with my logo on it, and I'm so professional. So this will be such a big difference, you know, to just showing one image. It will be a whole case study. So I would recommend you guys make a case study instead of just showing one mock-up. It will bring so much more richness to your project. But yeah, it does look great, and I see you're an amazing designer. So great job here. Cool. Elisandra is asking, how do I figure out what places will accept my artwork? Well, you have to see who you're compatible with. So let's say you have been working on cosmetic projects for 5 years and you have 10 cosmetic projects in your portfolio. So if you go to a cosmetics firm, they will definitely say yes, because they know that you're an expert in what you're doing, right? So always find a place and, you know, put your portfolio together for that place to show what exactly makes you the perfect, if you want to be an employee, what makes you the perfect employee, and how can you benefit them as a company, right? So it's always about finding that connection to a place, to a company, and to the way they're working, to the way you're working. So Elisandra, for you, I feel like you are totally fine in that field where you are right now, you know, doing you know, social work and maybe, you know, design with purpose, and, you know, making posters, making ads for social events. I think that's totally your field, and I feel like you really feel comfortable in it. But you really need to, you know, to find a little bit more courage to tell the client, hey, you know what? You have too much information on your slides. Nobody will read that, and maybe we can write the information in the comment section instead as a whole post, instead of putting it all on the graphic, right? So you need to find the courage, and you need to find the you know, the self-esteem to really come off to the client and tell them, hey, I know what I'm doing, and your audience needs this and this and this. Don't comment from your own perspective, comment from the audience's perspective, because that's what they're interested about. They're not interested about what you think as a designer. They're interested about their audience. And if the graphic will work better for the audience, then maybe they will rethink and, you know, just find the courage, and that will also give you more. Once the client says, hey, you know what, you're right, that will give you such a push, and you will feel so much more comfortable saying those things, and really standing behind the client, you know, like really recommending them what's best for them in terms of their audience. Anyways, we're sliding a little bit away from the portfolio reviews. But Simran is joining us. Cool. And Lucas is here. Hi, good to see you. Simran is saying nice portfolios. I totally agree. Here we're looking at Fiona Giuliana. Really cool. We've been looking at her personal branding. I was just saying, please make it a case study. I think this will be so much better as a case study. You know, giving it a little bit more richness and, you know, showing the logo by itself, the different ways the logo can be used and so on. And a couple more mock-ups, a couple more, you know, ways to use the logo. Cool. All right, let's take a look at the rocket ship logo. By the way, guys, one thing that I always say is that you're never a logo designer. You are a branding designer, because the logo is part of a branding system, right? That you're creating for the client. So you're picking a typeface, you're picking the colors, you're picking the shapes that you are putting together for this client, right? So call yourself a branding designer. You know why? Because a logo by itself can never have that quality that a company needs to really represent themselves. A logo always will have to rely on some research, on the user's needs, on, you know, being recognizable. So how do you find out if the logo will be recognizable for that audience? How will you figure that out? You will have to do some research, or you will have to base you know, your research on the past experience of the company. So you will have to have some background knowledge, and you cannot be therefore a logo designer because you're designing for the brand. You're a branding designer, right? So whenever I work, I never design a logo by itself. It's never a logo by itself. It's a brand identity. A brand identity comes with a logo, it comes with typefaces, it comes with a color palette. Sometimes it comes with a brand pattern. And I also show ways how the logo is used, right? So I was talking earlier about how you make a case study. Case study meaning showing how the logo is being applied to different products and how it can work in different environments, how it can work in black and white, how it can work in color. Because the client will not always be able to print your logo in color. How will the logo work in black and white prints? And so on. So you are designing a brand. You're not only designing a logo. So, and also it can make you a lot of money. So branding identity is what you aim for. And once you kind of feel, I know sometimes as beginners we call ourselves logo designers because we don't have the confidence of saying, hey, I'm gonna create a whole branding for you. That sounds so intimidating. Brand identity, that's so intimidating. But really, what is it? It is understanding the audience, right? Usually the company already knows their audience. What kind of audience do they have? Who are they attracting to their company? You probably already know that. And if not, you can do some research. Then you base off that audience, you base the brand voice. So what is the brand saying? How are they saying it? What's the tone of voice? And based on that, you create a color palette because you already have some research. So let's say, for an example, the audience is millennials, for example, and we want something vibrant and colorful, and it's experimental and it's different, you know, it's unique and different from anybody else. We want to stick out in this industry, and we're creating, let's say it's a cosmetics brand for millennials, and you will look on the shelf and you will recognize that product right away because it will have a lot of color and it will attract the right audience. So this is what branding basically is. It's taking a look at the audience, getting some research, creating a brand voice, and based off that, it's so easy to make decisions because you already have the basis for everything, right? You have the basis to make decisions off. So what kind of typeface do I use for this specific audience? What kind of colors do I use to attract them, right? And so on. So this can go really deep, but you guys are, you know, not logo design. Don't call yourself logo designers. Do the whole thing. Do the whole branding. All right, cool. And that will also give you more quality clients. That means you will spend more time on a project. That means you will be able to put out higher quality projects, case studies, and that will attract more better clients. So definitely recommend doing that. But Fiona Giuliana, nonetheless, I think you're doing an amazing job. You're in a good way, and I think your portfolio is great. We just need to really, make it a case study. Not only one picture of a logo, but make it the whole thing. Colors, typefaces, I said it a million times, but I think that will really bring so much more value to your work and attract so much better clients. And it will also show that you really think about what you're doing, right? And I'm sure in this case you were sitting there and thinking anyways, hey, so what colors do I use and why do I use those colors, right? We have some metallic tones, and it has a rocket in it, so there is a certain connection, and you made design decisions based off certain thinking, and that's actually already branding. Just put it into words, put it into graphics, and present it. Cool. Pablo Picasso. All right, this is really interesting. I would love to know more about this. What were your thoughts behind this? Maybe some kind of intro. Hey, this is a poster series I created for this and this and this. And the aim for this project was, even if it's a personal project, it doesn't matter. Just make it important. Make it important to you. Make it sound like this project was really a big deal for you, right? And if it was a big deal for you, it will be a big deal for anybody who's looking through this, right? Art splash poster. Cool. This is really interesting. I really love the experimentation with the type here. I think this is really unique. I have not seen anything like that yet. Really cool. I think you're really, really capable, Fiona Giuliana, and I just encourage you continue. Make your projects bigger. Look at case studies from fellow designers, or look at case studies from bigger companies. Aim high, and you will eventually get there. I've started the same, so I have started the same, and I've been only making logos here and there. So you're definitely on a good way. Just keep on doing your stuff. Let's take a look at the web design. We have some app designs here. Here, maybe you've based this on some kind of research, and if you can show your research results here, you can make this a case study as well. Just make it, a bigger project. Go a little bit more into depth. Maybe you have designed the logo. What does the logo mean? And how did you chose the colors and why? And show the different elements that you're using here, the different iconography by itself. So show how that all kind of is cohesive and is all part of this Natis brand, right? So I love the description here, and I think this all makes really good sense. And if you're proficient with XD, you can also make a prototype, and you can add the link to the prototype into your portfolio so that the person can actually open the prototype and click themselves through the project. So I'm sure you can definitely do something like that if you're into XD. That would be really, really cool. Maybe here you can even create a little way to kind of adjust the time and adjust the date, and then you can actually click book test, and then the next screen will appear, and so on. So I think that would be really cool to kind of give it more interactiveness. Cool. And then we have the context section here. I love how your website is totally animated and looks exciting, looks interesting. Here I'll maybe put the icons closer together, but otherwise I think this is great. Do you really want people to find you on Facebook? Because this is more or less personal, so maybe not put Facebook. If you have some work on Instagram, I would definitely put Instagram. Here it looks really cool. I mean, I would totally follow you, and I see you have some really cool quotes here and some lifestyle stuff. So I think this is cool. It shows a little bit more about your personality. And LinkedIn, definitely always a good way to connect with people. It's a very professional platform. So if you have any professional connections, LinkedIn is the best way to connect. And then we also have your Pinterest here. Cool. All right. I'm not sure how relevant your Pinterest is to your work, but definitely LinkedIn, and yeah, maybe you can even, you know, share your email or something like that. But otherwise, I think this is really good. It doesn't give a lot of options to really send you a message except for through the platforms. So this is really the only way to get in contact with you right now that I see. So this makes it really easy for me, and it's great. Here in terms of hierarchy, I would definitely suggest making these beige color that you have in your branding. So make those stick out a little bit less, but make this all black. So that this is, you know, something that jumps into your eye first, because you really want somebody to get in touch with you, right? You want somebody to send you a message here. And then if they don't feel comfortable doing that yet, they can see more of you in your links. But for that, you need to make the hierarchy right, and you need to make those a little bit lighter. So I would suggest the beige color, and here make that black, and the submit button needs to be dark. It needs to be, the call to action needs to be visible. So I would make that, the hover can still be light beige, or this beige, and the initial state could be dark, like any darker color that you use here. I see you're using a charcoal gray here as well. So that will help to kind of create more hierarchy and really show what you want the person to do first. All right, my friends, my God, this was a really cool session. Thank you so much, everybody who has joined, and hopefully this was helpful for you guys who have submitted their portfolios. Follow me on Instagram at Julia Maselska, and yeah, submit your portfolio if you like. Submit the link, just send me a message on Instagram and I'll put you on the list. We're doing this almost every Friday. We're just doing a little hangout session with some tips and tricks for portfolios. So get in touch with me if you have any questions to your portfolio, or anything freelance and design related. Make sure to subscribe here if you haven't yet. I mean, right here. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great weekend. Bye bye.